Please start your archive recording. Stations, your final time key will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime. Stations, have fun.
The following is a presentation of Learfield IMG College. This is the Chris Ash Show, your chance to talk with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights on the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Tonight's show is brought to you by To be a part of the show, give us a call at 1-877-384-1869.
Stand by.
That's 877-384-1869. Here's your host, Chris Carlin.
And welcome, everybody, to the first edition of the 2019 season of the Chris Ash Show. We are live at the Provident Bank Stadium Club at SHI Stadium. Chris Carlin, alongside the birthday boy, Eric LeGrand. How are you, my friend?
I'm doing awesome. It's been a great day. A lot of work, but it's been a great day.
One last year in your 20s.
I know. I said I'm officially an adult at 30.
And the head coach of the 1-0 Scarlet Knights is Chris Ash. Chris Ash. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing outstanding. And our telephone number to talk to the coach tonight is 877-384-1869. 877-384-1869. And, of course, you can tweet us at Rutgers Radio as well. That's at Rutgers Radio. Scarlet Knights with the victory this past Friday night over the UMass Minutemen by a final score of 48-21. The Minutemen got out to a 21-7 lead, but Rutgers then 41 unanswered points. And I know in hearing from you at halftime with Fooch, you were talking about, you've got a new coaching staff on the other side. They had done some things that you weren't necessarily expecting to see, but you were able to cinch it down pretty quickly on defense.
Yeah, we knew that was kind of going to be the case. It usually is when it's a new staff that you're playing, and there's so many unknowns. The tempo got to us early. They were going really fast offensively with their tempo. We try to simulate it in practice. It's just not the same, and it takes some time to get used to it. Then there were a few new plays, and then when you put that with a couple of mental errors, we had a bad start to the game. But we knew that we just had to settle down, get used to the tempo, make a couple of adjustments. We had two new safeties playing that had to get comfortable with the game also. And once we did that, we settled down and played really good football.
And as you talk a little bit about the nerves of the game and everyone getting flown for the first time, they're going against somebody else besides themselves. But at the end of the first quarter, I believe I saw Tyshawn Fogg call everyone over. And I'm sure he said a few words that we can't say on air, but it seems like he got into everyone and looked like right after that, everyone settled down and made the adjustments. Do you remember a little bit what he said, or was that on a players-only meeting?
He's a great leader. He's a defensive captain. He's got a lot of pride in the defensive unit right now, and he just did what he knew needed to be done in the moment. It wasn't anything directed by the coaches. It was like, hey, let's just get our stuff together here. We're fine. We made a couple of mistakes, and really wasn't even mistakes. There were a couple of penalties that extended drives there that led to points, unfortunately, and that's probably the most disappointing thing. We knew there were going to be some things we had to adjust once we got going, but didn't anticipate penalties. Foolish penalties is what they were that were going to extend drives like they did.
Telephone number once again is 877-384-1869. We'll get your calls in for head coach Chris Ash in just a few moments. We'll spend some more time on the victory over UMass this past week. Let's talk a little bit about the fact that your team was able to bounce back in a situation like that. Building confidence early in the season. I would imagine for a coach that's a very encouraging sign.
Yeah, I look back at the game, and I know a lot of people, you bad start, whatever. Actually, it was perfect for us, to be honest with you. We did what we needed to do. We won the game. We found out a lot about ourselves in that game. about what some of our strengths are, what some of our weaknesses are, some areas that we've got to shore up. We were faced with adversity. We handled it, and that's always a good thing to be able to do early in the season and still come out with a victory. So we accomplished a lot, and we're 1-0, and it's on to the next one. And we've had a good week of practice here the last couple of days, and excited for the next opportunity to go play.
And I'm sure we're going to talk about him a lot more during the show. But McLean Carter, as you said, adversity beginning. First series, he throws an interception, but right after that, the confidence was through the roof. He was dropping back there and slinging it all over the field. Can you talk about him handling that adversity, being an older guy and being able to, first interception right on the first series for here at the Scarlet Knights, not really letting that fold, that pressure to make him fold, but came right back out there and played a tremendous game.
Yeah, those are things that we saw from McLean in practice that really kind of led to the decision to go with him. He's really even-keeled, and I think that's a really good characteristic for a quarterback to have. He's never too high, never too low. We saw that in practice. He would throw a touchdown, and hey, great, let's go on to the next one. He'd throw an interception, and he never really got rattled. And that training, that practice execution, and how he handled those situations there showed up on game day. And he was disappointed. He made a bad throw, made a poor decision, but he didn't get flustered, and he owned it. Went over on the sideline and told the players, "Hey, that's on me. I'll get you next time."
I got one more. So we were joking up at the radio booth. You've seen the movie Friday Night Lights, I'm sure.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So does he sound like the quarterback in there when he's in the huddle, like with that same Southern drawl and everything, like all right, wiggle, 24 switch? Does it sound like that in the huddle? I love to hear stuff like that. I was like, he has to sound like that coming from Texas.
He does, yeah.
I love it. I love it.
He does. He's straight Texas, man, and he's a lefty gunslinger from the state of Texas, and he's got that Texas draw. And some of the things he says in the huddle a little hard to understand at times.
But at the same time, for receivers, knowing that their quarterback is putting faith in them to go up and make a play down the field, that's going to do a lot to build good, solid relationships early in the season too. Yeah,
the whole time since McLean's been here, he's really approached this opportunity with us at Rutgers in a professional way. He didn't come in and talk a lot about what he was going to do. He just came in and kind of learned his way and just sat back, kept his mouth shut, went to work, tried to earn respect through what he did out on the practice field. And he gained a lot of confidence, a lot of respect from players because of that. He didn't come in and start talking about what he was going to do. He's going to do this, do that, take this job, take that job, beat this guy out. He just went and worked and fit in really nice. And, that confidence and that respect came from the players every day in practice.
And as we speak about confidence, we're going to have him on the show a little bit later. Beau Melton got his first career touchdown and a touchdown pass out there on Friday night. And you can see he was actually pretty confident on that field and going up there, making big plays. I believe he had 6 receptions, over 100 yards. And talk a little bit about him and his progression now. You see him going into his third year.
Yeah, I'm really proud of Beau. Now he's got to continue that kind of production and that kind of game as we go through the season. But I talked about this the other day in my press conference when I was asked about Beau and just kind of what's led to him having a game like this. Simple, it's hard work. And after 2 years of being in the program, he wasn't happy with where he was at. He knew he could give more. He knew he could be better. And he just put a plan together. Him and Coach Herb put a plan together to go out and work. And the good thing for Beau, and to his credit, he worked the plan. And every single day he was working his craft, whether it's developing his body physically or working on his skill set to be a better receiver. And we've seen it in practice, and it was good to see it in a game.
Our telephone number for the coach is 877-384-1869. Tweet your questions for Coach Ash at Rutgers Radio. We're at the Provident Bank Stadium Club. We hope to be able to kind of get situated here with a new location this season, to have fans come in and join us week 1 here. We're just kind of getting going. So hopefully after the bye week we can get some things in order and give you a chance to be here in person as well. Coach, with Isaiah Pacheco, as dominant as he was on the ground, what did you see?
I saw a more complete running back than what he was a year ago, a more confident running back, a more patient running back. Last year as a freshman, he really didn't trust his reads, trust what he was asked to do. He rushed everything. He was in such a hurry to get to a hole, find an opening, instead of trusting the line and trusting the play. Saw a lot more confident in that and a lot more relaxed and comfortable player last Friday night from what we did last year.
And Raheem Blackshear, too. And, here's a guy that we know you want to get the ball in his hands. And, boy, did he show what he's capable of when he does get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, he's a dynamic player, and we're going to do a lot of things with him. I think you guys saw that last Friday night. But you look at both of those players and their development over the last year and just their confidence level in game one, you could see a clear difference in the speed of the game for those two players. And that'll only continue to improve and increase as we go through the season. But they were off to a really good start. And I think you saw two players that really developed and are hungry to go out and change the results for our offense.
And we talk about Isaiah Pacheco being controlled and being patient, but Coach Ferguson mentioned it. We mentioned it. He runs angry, Coach. You see when his head gets bobbing and gets going. It's a dangerous. Whoever's in front of him, it's going to be a dangerous outcome for them.
He's got a unique running style, doesn't he?
Yes,
he gets that head bobbing, and he only knows one speed, man. It's all gas and no brakes. And he's learned to know when to put it on full throttle and back it off just a little bit and be patient and go through his progressions. But when he sees daylight, man, he puts it down and he can go.
And your offensive line played about as well as you can hope to. They ran blocked very well, and it seemed as if McClain had days back there at times to throw the football.
Yeah, they did a really nice job. I think it was one of the cleaner games that the offensive line unit has played since I've been here. And I know everyone's going to say, well, it's UMass. UMass, again, they brought a lot of stuff, a lot of different fronts. They blitzed, from all over the field, and our offensive line did a great job of identifying things, communicating things, and picking them up throughout the whole game.
Is that do you test that to call it, working together, now getting another year under their belts? Raekwon O'Neal out there at left tackle, but a veteran like Mike Maietti down there at the center. Just to have that confidence in there. Come on, Seymour. These are names that we've have heard over the years. It's not just like their first time out there.
Yeah, it's not. And those five guys have been working together basically since the first day of spring ball too, which has really helped. I don't know that we've had that situation for a few years where all the same five guys have gotten about every rep together. So that really helps. But having a guy like Mike Maietti that's played the last couple of years, who's a smart player and just understands the game. He could communicate the calls throughout and the looks throughout the offensive line to get everybody on the same page. So Mike did a great job of that this last Saturday night with all the looks that UMass presented.
22 straight starts now. I've had a lot of people ask me this. I think you and I talked about it briefly off the air. Do things change at all with a left-handed quarterback for Kamal Seymour? Because so much is always made of the left tackle having the blind side of the quarterback, but that switches up in this case.
Yeah, I'd say a little bit, but not too much. I mean, at the end of the day, you still got to block, whether you're on the left side or right side. So that part of it doesn't change. The protections on how we're sliding things may change a little bit, but at the end of the day, whether I'm a left tackle or right tackle, I've got to block and protect the quarterback.
All right, we'll take our first time out of the night. We'll get some of your questions in with the coach. Our telephone number again, 877-384-1869. Tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. We got a lot to discuss this evening, including Scarlet Knight's impending matchup with the Iowa Hawkeyes, about 60 miles from where the Rutgers head coach grew up. 21st ranked Iowa had a victory over Miami of Ohio in their opener this past week. Rutgers heads out to Iowa this coming weekend. We'll take a break from Learfield IMG College. This is the Chris Ash Show.
Red 18. This season, you can share a Coke with your team on it. So I'm going to tell you how with a little help from this quarterback.
Sally 44.
You can share a Coke when your team's up.
Red Poncho.
You can share a Coke when your team's down.
Happy Jolly.
You can even share a Coke with your rival on game day.
Chili, chili, chili.
Or you can share a Coke when you're giving out your famous guacamole recipe in a completely packed stadium.
Cilantro, chopped onion, squeeze a lime, Roma tomato, hike.
Share a Coke with a fan this season.
Ice cold, delicious.
Technology is the backbone of every business, but choosing the right technology requires time and resources most IT managers cannot spare. For 30 years, SHI International has helped businesses select, deploy, and manage IT solutions that meet their unique business goals. From end users to the cloud, SHI helps build and maintain some of the world's most complex IT environments. Find out how SHI can help your organization by visiting shi.com. That's shi.com. SHI, innovative solutions, world-class support.
This is the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hey, it's me, your cell phone. We need to talk about something serious. I know you love me. I know you like using me wherever you are, but I feel like this isn't working out when you're driving. I know you may think that it's possible to focus both on me and the road, but I just don't feel the same way. I think we should spend time away from each other when you're driving. It's for the best.
Visit StopTextStopWrecks.org. A message brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, Project Yellow Light, and the Ad Council.
We have returned to the Chris Ash Show here at the Provident Bank Stadium Club at SHI Stadium. 877-384-1869, our telephone number, and you can tweet us your questions at Rutgers Radio. Our first question comes in, Coach, in reference to special teams from this past week from Zealot. Coach didn't get a chance to see much of the awesome Aussie punter, which is awesome in and of itself. Only one punt the other day for Adam Korsak.
Yeah, Adams had a great training camp. He had one punting opportunity. I think he wished it would have been a little bit better. Didn't quite get the hit that he wanted, but we are just fine with Adam being on the sideline with us.
And as you look into it, Coach, that a little bit on the kickoff team, sometimes there were some holes where that they had a good kickoff return, I'll say that, UMass, because you saw some speed in that he had. What was it when you got back to look at the film? What were some of the things that you saw maybe that opened up some holes or someone maybe not fitting in the right spot?
Well, we had some new guys on the kickoff coverage, especially late in the game. Well, we were giving some younger guys an opportunity, and they didn't, stay on their landmark and basically own their real estate, so to speak, like we wanted them to. But they're never going to learn it unless they go do it.
Yep.
And that's thankfully we were in a situation where we could put them out there and it wasn't going to hurt us or cost us a game, and they could get that game experience. So late in the game, big kickoff return was let out, but it was because of some young guys out there, and they need to get their feet wet.
Mm-hmm. Defensively, let's start with your line. How did you evaluate what you saw?
Yeah, I thought overall our defensive line played a very solid football game. There were so many quick passes out to the outside that, they weren't really tested a whole lot up the middle. A couple of the runs that popped out, one was on a blitz, wasn't the line's issue, and one was on a third down where we were in a third down call, and they did a nice job. They called a run against a sub-defensive call, and it popped up the middle, so it had nothing to do with the defensive line. But I thought overall the defensive line played a pretty solid game.
Yeah, we mentioned him earlier when we were talking about him on the sideline, Tyshawn Fox. What would you say about his play in the game? I know that you got defensive player of the game. How did he do getting the guys lined up? Once you watch the film being in the right spot, how did that all go during the film review?
Yeah, we didn't really have any alignment issues. It was more some post-snap reads and being in the right spot after the ball was snapped. But from an alignment standpoint, we were really good. We didn't have any issues there, and a lot of it was because of Tyshawn. The tempo was going really fast, so he had to do a great job of communicating in a hurry, get the call, make the right-left call to get the defense set, and he did that pretty consistently.
You mentioned the safeties earlier. So how did you evaluate them afterward? I know Malik Dixon had a couple of big hits in the game.
Yeah, he had a big hit early in the game that dislodged the ball on an RPO. Unfortunately, the one touchdown pass, he was going to be a deep middle safety, didn't get quite over far enough, and we gave up the one pass. There were goods and bads for both of those guys in their first start. But thankfully, most of the bads were at the beginning, and as the game went on, they got better and better, so that was good to see.
I was going to say, how about that interception towards the end of the game by Trey Avery when he jumped up over the guy and pretty much caught it on his helmet? That was just an incredible play right there.
Yeah, it was. He was a deep third defender. They had two verticals going down in his third, and he did a great job of overlapping the inside vertical and went up over the top of the guy and made a pick. But Trey's got that type of ability, and I'm excited to see how he continues to progress here during the season.
Got our first telephone call of the night for the head coach, Chris Ash, and it is Bob in Perth Amboy who is going to start us off tonight on the Chris Ash Show. Bob, how are you?
Very good, Chris, and I'd just like to ask the coach, do you think having the bye in the early part of your season is going to help you in the long run?
You know, it's hard to say right now. I think it will, but we'll really have to evaluate it when it's all over. You know, we got 2 bye weeks this year, which is unique. Every Big Ten team has 2 bye weeks, and they're pretty much situated the same for the majority of the league. One early in the season, one later in the season. I actually right now I'm kind of pleased where ours falls. We had a Friday night game, so we had an extra day of preparation for Iowa. We go on the road. It's 11 a.m. Kickoff, and then we get really an opportunity to take a deep breath and evaluate our team after 2 weeks before we come back home and play, you know, good Boston College team. So I think it really lays out well for us here at the beginning of the season.
I wish you guys a lot of luck. You guys are going to do. You're going to surprise a lot of people this year, guys.
Well, I appreciate the call, and thank you for the support.
Thanks for checking in, Bob. We appreciate that. Let's go from a phone call to a tweet. Send them to @RutgersRadio. This is from our old friend @RUTax Esquire. Coach, the student section was absolutely over the top great. Probably the best support and turnout I've seen in a few years. What brought them out, and how can the program kind of keep that going? Was it the throwback mock helmets that were out there for them? Those are pretty nifty.
Yeah, usually on a Friday night, first weekend back into school, a lot of the freshmen are looking for something to do, and it's their first experience to go to a college football game, and they showed out, and they did a great job. They were electric all night long, and I can tell you this, I hope our student section will embrace our football team and Big Ten football and show up that way every Saturday that we play the rest of the season, because it will make a difference. Not only for our team, our fans, but also in recruiting. And anytime you can have that type of support from the student section, we'll take it. Anything we can do to keep that up, we'll do it.
Were there aspects of the game that maybe the average fans don't see that you were particularly pleased with?
Yeah, there were a lot. I'll just start with the beginning of the game. We kind of talked about it, dealing with adversity. We got right out of the gate, the season starts, we're down, and we handled it. So that aspect of the game I was really pleased with. Our offensive line that you mentioned, I was really pleased with that. Some of our playmakers on offense showed out and made some plays I was pleased with. I was pleased with the defense's response. So there were a lot of things that we can take out of that game that I'm really, really pleased with. And now we got to follow it up, though. It's that game's over. Whatever, good or bad, we got to learn from it, make some corrections to get ready for a next really good opponent. But right now, today, I'm pleased with the way the game went and how we handled the environment and the situation and the opponent. And now it's on to the next one.
And, Coach, I want to go back to the student section because this doesn't go unnoticed, at least by me. After the game is over, you go and shake the hands of the students, kind of develop a relationship with them and make them just feel good about themselves and staying out for the entire game. You've always done that, or is that something that you wanted to do to make sure that they come out and support the team?
Yeah, well, I've done that in the past, but I think it was definitely warranted right there in that moment. That we had the new student convocation the night before on Thursday night over at the RAC. I went over and addressed the students, the new freshmen there. I think we're sitting at the largest incoming class in Rutgers history this year, and there were thousands of them over at the RAC, and addressed them and basically begged them to come to the game, so to speak. But they did, and they brought a lot of energy, and they need to be thanked for that.
Our telephone number, 877-384-1869. Tweet your questions for Coach @RutgersRadio. That's @RutgersRadio. So now, coming into this week, one good thing that seemed to have come out of the game, at least from what we could tell, seemed to come out pretty healthy as well.
Yeah, we did. If you look around college football after the first week, a lot of teams suffered injuries.
Oh, yeah.
And some to some key players that they're counting on. And knock on wood, we got through week one fairly healthy, and that's going to be a huge test for us as we go through the season. We need to stay healthy. Last year, we did not, and we got decimated with injuries in the first game, and that really hurt us in the first part of the season. So we've got to stay healthy.
When you evaluate that going into the offseason, and as you talk about evaluating every aspect of it, are there things that you can change? Are there things that you can try to keep your team healthier during the season?
Yeah, absolutely. And we did some things during the summer, and we did some things during training camp that really probably helped us stay fresh throughout the course of training camp and healthier throughout the course of training camp and not be so beat up when we got to game one. And, we'll see what the dividends are, long term throughout the season. But we did make some changes, and we are making some changes to our in-season weekly routine to try to keep us fresh each week.
Well, do the injuries tend to happen more statistically when your team isn't as fresh?
Yeah. I mean, you go through a really physical training camp, and you take a lot of hits and you're beat up, and then you get to games. There's not a lot of wear and tear left on the tires, so to speak. And we wanted to get through training camp fresh and healthy. We needed to practice. We needed to have some physicality and get our guys a little bit tougher. But we wanted to make sure this training camp that our guys were fresh and they were healthy, and we didn't lose guys in practice. Now, football is a physical sport and things happen, but for the most part, we got through training camp as healthy as we have in my time here.
And how long do you keep the cold tubs outside and deal with that after practice? Because I know after a while, it gets a little bit chilly after practice. You don't want to come in. How long do you make the guys go through that whole cold tub, recovery and dealing with that? And especially now through September and October, do you go all the way through November?
We do, yeah, we do. That's just kind of a part of their routine, and guys get comfortable with that routine, and it makes their body feel good. So yeah, we keep it up all year round, and thankfully. Until really like the last maybe one or two games, the weather's not too bad for the majority of the football season. It gets a little cold at the end, and then we'll actually bring them inside. But they're going to keep that routine up.
We have more to talk about with the matchup with Iowa, and I have a feeling I know what the answer is going to be coming up, but you grew up an hour from there. You rooted for the team growing up. Is there any part of you this Saturday that will allow you as a head coach to walk into this stadium that you did as a kid and enjoy that moment?
It's not my first time doing it. It's the first time as a head coach.
As a head coach.
Yeah. I've gone back there as a visiting coach, as an assistant, both at Iowa State and when I was at Wisconsin. So it's not the first time doing it. I'm really just focused on our football team. We've got a lot of work to do, and I want our players to prepare to go out and play the best that they possibly can play, and that's the only thing I'm focused on.
Well, I was going to say, speaking of that stadium, it's kind of old school, so like the fans are like right on top of you. How is that as a coaching staff, and also trying to keep away, your players focus on the game when they are right on top of you and yelling stuff at you? Yeah,
it's a really kind of unique venue for a couple reasons. It starts with the pink locker room. The visitors' locker room is pink. It's a tradition that the old Hayden Fry started years and years ago. They built a new locker room, and they painted it pink as well. But then the fans, they are right on top of you. There's not much space between the sideline and the bleachers, and they can hear everything you're saying on the sideline. And, they'll try to get in your head and play mind games with you, as you're on the sideline trying to make adjustments. So you got to stay focused on the task at hand.
Have you talked to the team at all about the tradition they have at the end of the first quarter where they wave to the Children's Hospital? Usually both teams are involved in that.
Yeah, we will. We have a Thursday night travel squad meeting, and we'll cover all those details at that moment.
Excellent stuff. We'll take more calls in just a bit. Actually, let's squeeze one in right here, and that will be Alex. He is in Ocean Township, and he is up next here on the Chris Ash Show. Alex, how are you?
Hey, I'm doing well. How are you?
Great.
Good. So I was wondering, Coach Ash, what's going to be the plan to get pressure on Dade Stanley with, their pretty NFL-ready offensive line and our somewhat undersized defensive line?
It's going to be a challenge. They are a very well coached offensive line, but our defensive line is going to work really hard at first to stop the run, and second, then apply pressure to the quarterback when he does try to pass. But the first thing we have to do is we got to stop the run and get them into some third and long passing situations to be able to try to do that. If they're in third and medium, third and short all day long, it's going to be really tough to get pressure on the quarterback. First and second down, the way they can run the ball in their play actions and boots, it's tough to get pressure on the quarterback on first and second down. So we have to do a great job and get them in third and long, and then be able to pin our ears back and get after them.
Great. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. If memory serves, I believe they're going to be without their left tackle this week, who's been a little bit banged up. I might be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that's the case. And on the defensive side, they also have a terrific player in A.J. Epineza, who is a defensive end, had 10.5 sacks to lead the Big Ten last year.
Yeah, up front, when you talk about Iowa, that's where it all starts, up front on both sides of the ball. Kirk's done a great job of just building identity of that football team, being able to run the ball, stop the run, and play good special teams. And that's something that we really are trying to build here as well. But he's done a great job of that throughout his career. And anytime you go to play them, that's where it starts.
All right, we'll take a timeout. More to do as we talk with the head coach, Chris Ash, here at the Provident Bank Stadium Club at SHI Stadium. Stay with us. Coming up, we're going to visit with Rutgers wide receiver Beau Melton. He should join us shortly as well. Once again, from Learfield IMG College, this is the Chris Ash Show.
Managing your health care can sometimes feel overwhelming. With the new Horizon Blue app from Horizon Blue Cross Blue Shield of New Jersey, you get the care and support you want right in your hands. Now you can have all of your healthcare coverage details and access to support at your fingertips. Get help scheduling appointments, find doctors and specialists, access your coverage details, get updates on your claims, see easy-to-understand cost details, and get support straight from the experts at Horizon. You can even see a doctor wherever it's most convenient for you via your smartphone or tablet. Downloading the app is easy and free. Text GET APP to 422-271 today or find it in the App Store or Google Play. There is no charge to download the Horizon Blue app, but rates from your wireless provider may apply. The Horizon Blue app. It's not just an app, it's your direct connection to care.
This is the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Today, millions of people all across America are building a life in recovery from addiction and mental illness, helping themselves
and helping each other, with friends, family, and community lending their strength and support.
Join the Voices for Recovery.
Together, we are stronger.
For 24-hour free and confidential information and treatment referral for mental and substance use disorders, for you or someone you know, call 1-800-662-HELP.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wake up and text. Text and eat. Text and meet up with a friend you haven't seen in forever.
Hi.
Oh, hey. Text and complain that they're on their phone the whole time. Text and listen to them complain that you're on your phone the whole time. Text and whatever. But when you get behind the wheel, give your phone to a passenger. Put it in the glove box. Just don't text and drive. Visit StopTextsStopWrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
We have returned to the Chris Ash Show here at the Provident Bank Stadium Club in SHI Stadium. Chris Carlin, Eric LeGrand, joined now by one of the heroes from the victory over UMass this past week. That is junior wide receiver Beau Melton. Beau, how you doing, man?
Good. How you doing today?
Doing outstanding, and had to feel good hauling in that touchdown pass the other day and getting over 100 yards. And first career touchdown for you. Take us through that play.
During the play, there was we called on go ball. I think it was second half going in, and we was down. We threw an interception first drive, and we had to come back and make a touchdown. We had to get something momentum going on, and we threw a go ball, and I caught the ball for my first touchdown, so it felt pretty good, and I'm just blessed to have that.
What about that? Let's not downplay this catch. You had a guy over your back, another safety, coming over the top to make the tackle, and McLean dropped it right in on there, but that was not an easy catch. Can you talk about that process of having a guy on your back trying to stack him, and then the safety also coming to try to hit you to knock the ball out of it?
Yeah. Actually, we go a lot in practice about those type of catches like over the shoulder and catches that are difficult, and Coach Irv really goes through that during practice. And so when it came to the game, I saw him draped over me a little bit, and so I just turned my body up so he couldn't get in place of the ball, and just caught the ball, and pretty much.
Rutgers receiver Beau Melton with us here on the Chris Ash Show. Tell us about your development here from your sophomore year to your junior year as a receiver through your off season. Where have you made the biggest jumps?
I feel like the biggest jumps were in the weight room. Really, Coach Parker and strength staff really pushed me to get my legs stronger and really my upper body a little stronger, but most importantly it was my legs and to keep me faster and stuff like that. And the biggest jump was coming out there and being more explosive, getting in the field.
And how much is that involved with also, the physicality that there is for wide receivers on the line of scrimmage?
You have to be very physical, especially in the Big Ten. There are big corners in Big Ten. First, second round draft picks come from the Big Ten with corners, and you really have to be sound, you really have to be strong, and to get off press, you need to get off press, and you need to be explosive down the field. Pretty much, that's it for Big Ten.
And how about the confidence that you have now? Being that go-to guy, that receiver. Not only did you have that touchdown pass, but you came up with a big third down catch over the middle as well with another safety dropping over your shoulder trying to dismantle the ball from you. How is it now? You're that go-to guy, and you seem like you have that confidence out there to be, hey, throw me the ball, I'll make the play for you.
Absolutely. Really, like receivers, really for like our standard now, we try to make all the difficult catches. We try to make all the downfield catches. If it's throwing us, we got to catch it. And that's really what we're trying to bring to the unit. And when we go out there, if the ball's in our vicinity, McLean throws it, we have to catch it. That's the mentality we have to have. And just going out there playing our hardest, and everything falls in place from there.
Beau Melton with us on the Chris Ash Show here at the Provident Bank Stadium Club at SHI Stadium this week. Beau, let's talk about that relationship. You've worked so much with Art the last couple of years, and now you're working with a new quarterback in McLean. How long does it take for a wide receiver and a quarterback to really start to develop that chemistry you need?
It takes a long time, I'm going to be honest. It takes a lot of work in the offseason. You have to work with the quarterbacks in the offseason and get a connection, especially with Art being a right-handed quarterback and McLean being a left-handed quarterback. It kind of tells differently, and you really have to go out there and practice every day after practice, and especially during times off where you want to go and hang out or go home, take a rest or something. Like, you have to work on that chemistry with your quarterback on off-time hours when time is done right now, stuff like that.
Have you ever played with a left-handed quarterback before?
Yes, Jesse Mills. It was for 4 years in my high school was left-handed quarterback.
So how much did that help you in kind of adjusting to this?
Actually, it really helped a lot because Mills was a quarterback in my high school, and he was a left-hand quarterback. So when he came in McLean, I knew he was a left-hand quarterback. I kind of knew how to catch the ball already. Kind of knew how to tell.
So does it tail away differently than a right-handed quarterback would, where maybe the righty would tail in toward you a little bit more?
So lefties really would tail into you, like a little bit more than a right hand. A right hand would tail away from you, and so like on a run you would go and catch the ball. But a lefty would tail towards you, so that you would have the ball like coming towards you in type of plays. Or if you're running a crosser, it would tail to the back shoulder instead of your front.
Okay.
So he was able to catch the ball like on your left inside shoulder if it's like a crosser. Deep ball is probably gonna tail in you.
Beau, tell us about your relationship now with Coach McNulty. This is now your second year working with him. Had a different offensive coordinator your first year. Now having the continuity a little bit now with the offense and seeing what he wants and what he expects from you guys. Tell me about your relationship that you've been able to develop with him.
Coach McNulty is a great coach, office coordinator. He's great. He puts his players in positions to make plays all the time, and you can see like Raheem Blackshear, like Isaiah Pacheco, they're all making plays. He's really dynamic. Coach McNulty is really a smart coach. He knows what he's doing, and I always go in there to see extra things I could do to help the team, and anybody that goes in there to talk to him, he's a great guy, great coach.
And he's a guy that's coached in the league quite a bit. I mean, how much can you kind of pick his brain a little bit on things that you can do better in that regard?
Yeah, he has coached at the Chargers with the tight ends, and he talks about Antonio Gates a lot and how he's really consistent with a lot of things. And I just try to nitpick what I could do to stay consistent in practices, and that was the biggest thing. And he tells me every day, just go out there, play ball, just play yourself, be yourself.
A guy who's coached Larry Fitzgerald, too.
Absolutely, yeah, he coached Larry Fitzgerald, so, he's one of the greatest receivers ever played.
Let's talk a little bit about your personal Rutgers history. For those who don't know, your father, of course, played football here, and your mother played basketball here. So, in essence, there's part of you that really grew up around here. Take us back to when you were making up your mind to kind of deciding if you were going to come here and when you were going to come here, or was there even a decision to be made at that point?
Yeah, really when recruitment was going on, my mom and dad really will always tell me, like, this, pick a school that's good for you. And really, I love Rutgers. I've been at Rutgers a lot of times. Been here for 707s, for day camps, even though I wasn't getting recruited here, for day camps and stuff like that. And my parents would always take me up here, and they would tell me about their experiences they used to have back in the day here. And really, I just left it up to myself to come to Rutgers, and they really just helped me through the process. They was really excited when I said I wanted to go to Rutgers, and from there it was just off and going.
Well, this is your home, and we were talking a little bit off air about this, and Chris gave you a little heads up about where your favorite restaurant is, or where you like to eat around here. And I have to ask all our guests, where is your favorite restaurant? So mine, when I was here, was the Sanctuary. I'm not even sure if that's still here.
The Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary was my go-to spot. A little bit expensive, but it was my go-to spot.
Right.
Where's your spot?
My go-to spot is Diesel and Dukes. And
Diesel and Dukes, what's that?
It's a burger spot. Near Rutgers. Are you grill? Yeah, a really good burger spot. I know I should probably be eating that, but
nah, you good, man.
It's good though. It's good.
What's the go-to burger though?
Oh, the smoke show.
All right, so that's what?
It's so it's American cheese, and then barbecue sauce, chipotle aioli, an onion ring, and I think it's an egg, fried egg on there.
Yeah,
all on the burger.
All on the burger.
We're gonna have to stop on the way home.
I need to. What is it called again?
Smoke show. They got a couple.
The place.
Oh, Diesel and Dukes.
Diesel and Dukes. Yeah.
Dukes, okay.
I'm gonna have to try. That was not here when I was there. Probably a good thing, but I'm gonna check that out. Still.
It's really good.
Like I said, my last year before I'm an adult. I'm 29. I can still go in there and eat.
Yeah. Don't do it. I'm 46. You see what you're looking at. Your free time. What are the things that you enjoy doing when the very little free time that you have, especially during the season?
Really a lot of free time. I just like working on the field, really. But besides that, it's really like football involved. Like maybe a game of Madden on like PS4, Xbox.
Is it like Netflix or Fortnite or anything like that?
I'm not a Fortnite type of guy. There's a lot of people on the team that's Fortnite guys.
And me,
and I'm really not. I play Madden with like Julius Turner.
Okay.
Kobe Marfo, CJ Yoshi, Tyshawn Fall.
Who's your team?
Oh, my favorite team's Cowboys.
Oh, come on.
I know
man.
that hurt.
Wow.
Well, you just got Zeke back today.
Yeah, Zeke got paid today.
Yeah, Zeke did get paid
today. He definitely does. There's a little bit of motivation. But I want to talk to you, I guess, who's your, go-to guys on the team that you really do hang out with? I know you just mentioned something that you play Madden with, but who's, if you see Beau Melton, you're going to see who alongside of you.
So, yeah, if you probably see me around, you're probably going to see me with Tyshawn Fogg. You're going to see me with CJ Onyechi, and you're going to see me with Elijah Barnwell and Julius Turner.
Okay.
Those are my guys, and really play with Tyreek Maddox Williams too.
Okay.
Really, I hang with them a lot, but I like try to be a team guy. And, I hang out with a lot of people on the team, no matter where we're at. And so, but those are the main guys I'm always around, always talking to. Like if I leave here, they'll probably be right outside.
So you're the social guy then, so you get around everyone. That's good.
Yeah,
man. Well-rounded.
Well-rounded.
Big Ten opener this week against Iowa. What have you seen from them? What are you looking forward to out in the Midwest?
They're actually a great team. Iowa has a lot of tradition there, and my coach Herb actually came from Iowa, my wide receivers coach.
Yeah.
And he's there for about 12, 13 years, and corners are great. They're big corners, 6'1", 200-pound corners, so he's got to be on our P's and Q's and his real protections and go through the day.
What's it like playing on the road, in the Big Ten, where you see some of these schools with the traditions? And we were just talking with Coach Ash. These guys the way that the field is designed, the fans are right on top of you. So, what is it like playing on the road with some of these Big Ten stadiums?
Yeah, it's eye-opening. I haven't played at Iowa yet, but I played in Nebraska, where the fans are really right on top of you.
Yeah.
And the stadium's loud, and you just got to stay locked in. The fans going to be there. The fans going to try to get on you, but you just got to stay locked in and do the best you can, and just go get the game plan and just keep going.
One thing I never got a chance to ask you about, it was 2 years ago at this point, Made Sports Center, the dunk.
Oh,
The
yeah.
dunk in the team meeting room when you just went right – who was it you went right over the top of?
Saeem Simmons.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you remember? I mean, it's got to be pretty bad for him when not only you dunk over him, but it ends up on Sports Center, and it's not even a game.
Yeah, that day we was really just playing around in the room, and somebody just recorded it. I think it was Emily Eves at the time, and we were just playing around, and he was like, "You can't dunk on me, really." And we was good. First he did it on me, and we was going back and forth, and they was going crazy, and then everybody just waited for the last one, and I dunked on them. So
yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, Bo, this is your third year, so some guys are going to start looking up to you. You're not that young guy anymore. So now with these guys looking up to you, what type of leader are you? Leader by example? Or are you the guy that gets everyone loud, gets everyone pumped up? Or you seem kind of mellow, so are you that type of, just go out there, do the right things every single day?
Yeah, I'm really that's a guy, this mellow guy. I'm just going to talk to you and try to get you right on the field.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever you need, I'm going to be here for. But when it's game day, it's like I feel like I'm a different person.
Mm-hmm.
As you just got to turn into a different person. I'm not taking the stuff I had in practice on game day. You got to execute on game day. The stuff that worked on the practice, I'll be here for you. Like, come on, we got this. Work it out with you. But when it comes to game day, everything's for real. And I think our guys get that.
Well, Bo, we appreciate you coming by tonight. Best of luck this week and the rest of the season. A lot of fun chatting with you.
All right, thank you.
Absolutely.
Good luck, my man.
Beau Melton, Rutgers wide receiver, the junior, with a big game this past week. Hopefully another one coming up this week at Iowa. The head coach, Chris Ash, will rejoin us in moments here at the Provident Bank Stadium Club at SHI Stadium. From Learfield IMG College, this is the Chris Ash Show.
It's after hours. You're stuck at work. You're feeling lousy. There are those times when you need to see a doctor, but you just can't get there. So what do? Where do you go? You go to the RWJ Barnabas Health Telemed app, and you get to see the doctor right away. Whenever you want, wherever you are, on whatever device you choose. It's that simple and that convenient. No appointment necessary for access to doctors who all meet our high standards. In fact, you can even see physician profiles and read about doctors who fit your needs and match your symptoms. But most importantly, you get a diagnosis when you need it, where you want it, 24/7. Download Telemed from RWJ Barnabas Health at the App Store or visit rwjbh.org/telemed. Now you can see the doctor even when you can't go to the doctor. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
This is the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
1 in 3 adults has prediabetes. 1 in 3. That means it could be you, your football buddy, your football buddy, or you, your best man, your worst man, you, your dog walker, your cat jogger. While 1 in 3 adults has prediabetes, with early diagnosis, prediabetes can be reversed. Take the risk test at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
We depend on our drinking water supply daily, but where does that water come from? Your water provider encourages you to get to know your local water source so together we can protect and preserve it. The investments we make as a community to protect our water source now ensure we have a sustainable drinking water supply for the future. Visit drinktap.org to learn more. This message is brought to you by the American Water Works Association and your local water provider.
We have returned to the Chris Ash Show right here on the Learfield IMG College Rutgers Sports Network. Chris Carlin, Eric LeGrand, along with the head coach of the Scarlet Knights, and that is Chris Ash. We just spoke with wide receiver Beau Melton, and you could see some aspects of his game just in game one where he's really taken a couple of big steps forward, it seems, from his first 2 years on campus.
Yeah, there's no doubt. He's always been just a naturally talented individual, but he needed to develop the football skills to match that talent. And there's a lot that goes into that as a receiver. And he's really worked hard to get the game to slow down, to understand the game, understand coverages, concepts, and just develop the skill set he needs to be a good receiver.
Yeah, I want to talk about that for a second. And you and I spoke of it on our pregame interview last week. But that word development, it's something that we have discussed the last couple of years, but you're starting to see some of the fruits of that. You see it from Beau Melton. You see it from Muhammad Jabi, who made some big catches for you last week. You see it over on the defensive side from guys like 03, who was making plays last year. But, on your defensive line as well, you're able to get guys like C.J. Onyechi back on the field, and we know how good Mike Tverdov's been. And I guess it's just such an underrated part of it people don't see it, because it all happens behind the scenes, but you finally get to see the fruits of it, and you're like, oh, well, that's what we're talking about. That's what that guy can be.
Yeah, in this day and age, everybody wants to talk about recruiting, and you go recruit ready-made guys. That's not going to happen consistently at 85% of the colleges in America. You have to develop. You got to go recruit the best you can, but then the real thing is the development of the players when they come in the program, regardless of how high they were rated or what their skill set was in high school. They got to be developed. That doesn't happen in a microwave. It happens in a crock pot. It takes time, and you can't speed that process up. Some players, you may go through the process a little bit faster than others, but there's no perfect formula or set formula for the development of a player. It's all different, and it takes time.
Zach Vineski, just to individually point one guy out in particular, he emerged toward the end of last year, and he's a captain for you this year, and this is a guy that people didn't necessarily talk about a whole lot prior to the end of last year. But tell us a little bit about Zach and how he's become one of the leaders of this football team.
Yeah, Zach is a product of development, and before this year, I think he'd only played in 5 games in his 4 years here at Rutgers. He's going into his 5th year. You just don't see that much anymore in this day and age. Players in that situation usually look to transfer, or quit. Zach did not. He has been focused on the process. He's been focused on developing. He has matured, and he's grown into the leader of the offensive line, the leader of the offense, captain of the team, and one of the most respected players that we have. And it just took time to get there. And I'm so happy for him that he was patient with that process. He worked that process, and I'm hoping that he goes out and has a great year.
And Chris just mentioned him earlier, Muhammad Jabi. What are you looking for, I guess? And the number 2 receiver, you have Beau Melton, who had a great game, but who's going to be that second guy that McLean Carter could go to, that you're looking to make big plays for the team?
Well,
wide receiver position, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I mean, so we have a number on offense. When you look at the running backs, the tight ends, and when you look at the wide receivers, obviously Beau stood out the other day. Mo Jabi made a couple good catches the other day. Davon Robinson's done a nice job in camp. Shameen Jones has done a nice job. There's been a number of them. Isaiah Washington, a young player, has really started to come on here as of late in the tail end of camp. In the first game, he got some reps. So there are a number of guys, and I hate to even call out names because I'm missing some because there's so many in that wide receiver room that have done some things that I'm really pleased with the competition level and the way those guys are competing. Some guys have missed a little bit of time. Everett Wormley's been hampered with a hamstring throughout training camp, but he's now getting healthy and will be back in the mix. Eddie Lewis was the same way. So there are a number of guys, but the guys that have been there really most of training camp and battled through it, Beau, Davon Robinson, Isaiah Washington as a freshman. Those are some guys that have been pretty consistent.
One other guy I wanted to ask you about, first look at the new tight end from UCLA, and Matt Alimo, the Jersey kid who's back here and had a couple of catches in his Rutgers debut.
Yeah, we talk about it as a staff. Matt, from the day he walked on campus last January to where he's at today, we could argue he's probably the most improved player on the team. He did not come in, Big Ten ready. Last January, he'd only been in college for a little bit of a summer and one semester. The physical development really hadn't started to take shape with him yet. He needed some time in the weight room. He's like 248 right now. He might have come in at like 230 when he got here. It's 248. Looks different. In the spring, he was just kind of learning and feeling his way through the offense. He knows he's a very smart football player, and I was really happy with him on game 1 to be able to go out and play as many snaps as he did. I think he maybe only had 1 or 2 mental errors, if any. I mean, he played a really clean game, had some critical catches in that game. So I'm very, very pleased with his development. I'm excited to see where he goes the rest of the way.
And I was going to say, being thin, a little bit thin at that position, at Jonathan Lewis's injury, how much is he going to be relied upon to have a lot of reps in those games and being able to go out there and not only catch the ball, but being big in a run game?
Yeah, he's going to be a major part of our ability to have success on offense. If we're going to have success, we're going to need a successful tight end, both in the run and the pass game. And right now, Matt's the leader in that room. And Brandon Myers played some really good snaps the other night too. As a guy that's not talked about a lot, but he also has really improved himself. He's a walk-on that's done a great job. and I'm excited to see where he goes with his career right now. But he's still a young player. He's right behind Matt and doing a great job, and really pleased with those two guys and what they've done with that unit.
We'll take one more time out. We'll preview Iowa. When we come back, we'll also tell you about a couple of superlatives from this past week. Once again, from Learfield IMG College, this is the Chris Ash Show.
Your bank records are secure. Your first grader can write code. Your package is being delivered, and your driver is 1 minute away. As technology enhances our everyday lives, SHI International ensures the schools and businesses developing new technologies have the tools and expertise they need to compete and win in the ever-changing global marketplace. Find out how SHI supports the business and technical needs of more than 20,000 of the world's most complex IT organizations by visiting SHI.com. That's SHI.com. SHI, innovative solutions, world-class support.
Cold? Cough? Flu symptoms? Sounds like you should see a doctor. So where do you go? You go to the RWJ Barnabas Health Telemed app, and you get to see the doctor right away, whenever you want, on whatever device you choose. It's that simple and that convenient. No appointment necessary. Download Telemed from RWJ Barnabas Health at the App Store, or visit rwjbh.org/telemed. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
This is the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Millions plan for retirement online. Estimate your future benefits, apply for retirement, and manage your benefits all from the comfort of your home. And give yourself the freedom to do what you want offline. Social Security's online services help put you in control with secure access to your information anytime, anywhere, allowing you to spend more time with family, friends, or simply just enjoying the day. Social Security, securing today and tomorrow. See what you can do online at socialsecurity.gov.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense. Hi, it's Olivia Munn with my shelter pets, Frankie and Chance. Say hi, guys. When I adopted them, I discovered that they both have incredible personalities. Chance's sole purpose in life is to love and to be loved. Frankie is a little bit of a scoundrel and always entertaining. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council, the Humane Society of the United States, and Maddie's Fund.
We have returned to the Provident Bank Stadium Club here at SHI Stadium. It is the Chris Ash Show from Learfield IMG College. Chris Carlin, Eric LeGrand, and Rutgers head coach Chris Ash. A couple of superlatives I want to point out from last week. Number one, the 41 unanswered points we talked about. Isaiah Pacheco became the 9th player in Rutgers history with 4 rushing touchdowns in a game. Jonathan Lewis did it a couple of years ago at quarterback, but he was the first running back to do it since Ray Rice in the 2008 International Bowl.
Wow.
How about that? And then most first-half points in 31 against an FBS opponent since 2008. Got to be pretty pleased with that, too. The way we talked about your team responding as well, but 31 points in that first half, that's a pretty nice offensive explosion.
Yeah, it was, and I'm not going to make any secrets about it or bones about it. We have to score points for us to improve as a team. It's been an issue for the last couple years, and I think right now we probably have the most playmakers that we've had in my time here. We've had some good ones, but the total package is probably the best that it's been. And we made some scheme changes to take advantage of some of those guys and get the ball to certain players out in space. And I think the combination of those things, we have a lot of potential, but we've got a lot of work to do to reach that potential. But I think Friday night you saw some glimpses of some of the things that we could potentially do this year.
And on the defensive side, I should ask, what are you going to make some adjustments to come out faster? You don't want to get down versus an Iowa team like this and just be able to be solid up front, and now you have a game of film to actually watch on them instead of coming in with a whole new coaching staff from UMass. What is that going to do to help?
Yeah, it's a completely different preparation. You're talking about a head coach that's been there now for 19, 20 years. They do what they do. They've got adjustments that they make, but for the most part, you're going to know what they're going to do. And it's just a different prep from that standpoint. Now, they're going to be physical. It's going to be a tough, hard-nosed football game, but you're going to have a better idea of what they're going to do. So it's different from that standpoint.
Well, Coach, we will see you out in Iowa City on Saturday. Looking forward to it, a 12:05 kick. And you can catch the game on FS1, Fox Sports 1, and, of course, on the Rutgers IMG Sports Network. Our coverage will begin at 11 a.m. with countdown to kickoff. Thanks, Coach. Looking forward to it.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate you guys helping host this show, and excited to get the 150th anniversary of college football started off with you guys.
Outstanding.
Good luck, Coach.
Our personal
Happy birthday, E.
Absolutely. Happy birthday, E.
Thank you.
Our personal thanks to Mark D'Agostino and Colin Osborne for helping us out. Paul Schrager, our producer and engineer. Hasim Phillips and Jimmy Gill and Bradley Darahilo as well from the Rutgers Sports Information Department. For Eric LeGrand and the coach Chris Ash, this is Chris Garland speaking. We'll see you next week. Rutgers and Iowa this Saturday, 12 noon. Have a good week, everybody.
Been listening to the Chris Ash Show on the Rutgers Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Tonight's show has been brought to you by The preceding has been a Learfield IMG College presentation of the Rutgers Sports Network.